Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is a rather old video game near and dear to my heart. Absolutely adored the game. The graphics at the time were absolutely phenomenal, and I feel like it was a game way ahead of its time considering the different story arcs you could go on and the player choice and all kinds of different ways, even to the point where it's so popular even to this day. It has a player-made patch to update it for modern graphics and fix some of the big bugs and glitches and everything. And hell, people play it to this day. And when Bloodlines 2 was announced many years ago, people got excited, and then the game went into a development hell, changing lead storyline, lead storytellers, writers, directors, studios, even to the point where finally, how many times have I said to the point? To the point, to the point, to the point? Anyway, finally, we have a release date of October 21st. And something came out today that just made me want to bang my head through the wall, because this is not how you get player sentiment back on your side. Really? This article coming from PC Gamer, and it's going across the interwebs. What are you thinking? Bloodlines fans rage as Paradox locks 2 playable clans behind a $30 DLC. If you know anything about the first one, and again, if my memory serves me correct, depending on the clan you chose in the game, depended on, it affected the story. It affected what you could do. I mean, definitely it affected what abilities you could use. And this is just, what on earth? But let's, you're locking clans behind a paywall. This is despicable. This is EA shite. This is Ubisoft slop tactics. A day one DLC for $30 that gives you access to 2 playable. Anyway, we got some big news of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Yeah, other than a release date after years and years and years and years and years. Troubled development game is finally set to release on October 21st. After all the thing, I saw a few of the trailers, most recent stuff on how the gameplay was going to be and what the storyline was going to be. And I was very exceptionally hesitant. One of those things where I'm going to wait until reviews. And then I realized, wait a minute, I could be one of those reviews. That wouldn't be a bad idea, right? And then I saw this. Locking. If it's anything, and if it's anything like the first one, you're locking story elements behind a paywall, not just the clans and their abilities. Anyway, even with I said it right. Even with that long-awaited day finally in sight, the vampires are going to see the light, huh? Get it? Huh? Bloodlines 2 just can't avoid stepping on rakes. Eager Bloodlines fans were also informed that if they want to play as the La Sombra or the Toreador, they're going to have to pay a little bit extra. A few people are complaining about the look of the character between the male and female, to each their own. I mean, vampires, their power, most of their power comes from their attractiveness to the mortals. It's one of their weapons. Of course, they also have blood powers that affect that. Anyway, moving on. Bloodlines 2 will let players select from 4 different vampire clans: Bruja, Tremere, Ventru, and Banu Hakim. I believe those are the old Assamites, if you are familiar with the World of Darkness. So, I think I read something about that. Malkavians, why can't you have do Malkavians good? Do them justice. Do them justice in the game. Sort of in there too as a kind of alternate personality named Fabian, who emerges as a playable character when the real playable character, Fire, is asleep. Now, that is a mechanic I can get behind. I wonder how that's going to work. La Sombra and Toreador, however, will only be available as DLC, and it ain't cheap. You're putting in a $30 cosmetic DLC. Let's go ahead and get down here. Where is it? Backlash across various subreddits is acute. Is Paradox smoking crack? They've dropped the ball on this one. So we got it somewhere down here. All right, we got the standard edition, the deluxe edition, and the premium edition, because heaven forbid you just sell one edition of your game. Just do that. Huh? Why not do that? Give a little pre-order bonus that is meaningless in the nostalgia jukebox. That's cool and everything. But why lock behind these editions? What do we got here? The base game, you get in all three. Now we're not going to go down that far. Let's be patient, ladies and gentlemen. What sort of Santa Monica memories we got here? Ankaran our sarcophagus, Clan Neon Collection, stop sign. What? Okay. Vorman Sister Portrait. You get those in the extra special stuff, the deluxe and the premium. But now what do you only get in the premium? Shadows and Silk. La Sombra, Toreador, Discipline Training, whatever the flip that is, and 4 outfits for each clan. You want to lock the outfits behind a deluxe edition? Sure, I got no problem with that. You want to lock the discipline training? Whatever on earth that is. Maybe that, maybe that allows the other clans to learn the La Sombra and Toreador's disciplines? Maybe, perhaps, I don't know. But you're locking the clans themselves behind a paywall. That is, well, hot garbage, for lack of a better term. It's ridiculous. Let's see what else we got. Let's go back up to the top, see what everybody's saying about it. Exacerbating the situation is, for many, is that after Bloodlines 2 chaotic development, that is an understatement of the century, not to mention doubts about whether developer, the Chinese Room, who, for the record, I think is brilliant because you want to get the early access, of course you're going to say that, is the right studio for Vampire the Masquerade RPG. Little goodwill would go a long way. That right there. This has been in development hell for years. Why? Instead, fans get launch day DLC. Because that's what it is. Redditor NRA Games suggested the move is purely pragmatic. Paradox said in 2024 it's not interested in making any more RPGs, so it's not concerned about making people... Wow. They're not worried about making people mad. Quote, there isn't a large overlap between Bloodlines and the grand strategy game players, so there isn't much to lose there. Holy shit. Well, except maybe a return on your investment on the game that you spent years on. How about that? If it's not a big deal and you're not worried about making players mad, maybe, I don't know, maybe keep those 2 clans in the base game, have the DLC, have the extra special deluxe edition, an extra $30 for the game. Leave the skins in there. Put a bunch of extra skins in there because it's just coding. Shouldn't take you all that long. Leave the playable clans, have all of the playable clans in the game. Unless later down the line you're going to make an expansion, which you are saying you are not doing at all. Why? Oh. You lock clans behind a paywall when and only when and if you are making an expansion to the game. This is not uncommon across RPG games. When you add to the story, then you add a playable character or a character class in this sense, because that's what the clans are. If you're not familiar with, they're essentially player character classes. They have special abilities that other vampires do not have, and you don't lock that behind a cosmetic paywall. You're not worried about upsetting people? Well, this sort of action is going to get people to shut their wallets tight so that you will lose even more money. And what does this do towards goodwill at all? You think any of these people that want to play your other games or have been interested in your other projects in the future, think they're going to look at you twice if this is how you're going to behave on one of your games? Leaves a bad taste in people's mouths, and they start shutting their wallets and moving on to other developers that don't want to waste their time and money. This all might seem a bit overwrought for non-fans, but as someone who's been through Bloodlines a few times, I have no problem understanding why gating 2 clans behind DLC is such a big deal for some. The original game is famous for how differently it plays depending on your choice of clan, to the point that in his guide to playing Bloodlines on modern hardware, did I mention there's a player-made patch for the game? Like there's so it can run on modern hardware. It's community-made. That is how popular the game remained. A decade later? PC Gamer's Jody McGregor recommends playing through it at least twice before tinkering with mods, because your choice of clan has such a big impact on everything that follows. It isn't just cosmetics or maybe a couple of bonus weapons. No, it's entire clans. Toreador widely viewed as a sort of base clan. Wait, what? Really? These clans, La Sombra at least, the Toreador is widely viewed as a sort of base clan. Yes, they're one of the starter clans, I guess. The how do I put this? Yeah, I guess it would be starter base in the rule book anyway. La Sombra didn't come out for quite some time as far as the tabletop game went. Oversexed. Yeah, they're very flamboyant. They're very flashy. They use their charisma. It's arguably that 4 different clans in the core game is sufficient. Then don't offer them at all. If that's what you believe, if that's what the studio believes, don't offer them at all. And it's not unreasonable to ask players to spend a little more. Yes, it is unreasonable considering the context and considering the history of Bloodlines 2. Although I'd actually call it a lot more. Yeah, that is a lot more. $30 ain't cheap. For a couple more turns from different perspectives, Bloodlines fans would clearly disagree. Yes, the game has been in development hell. Charging extra for playable clans is a big complaint, but Paradox is also taking heat for leveraging Bloodlines nostalgia to sell higher price editions. Vormir Sisters. Bloodlines 2 Deluxe Edition includes an Ankaran sarcophagus, stop sign, portrait, all iconic items from the first game. And pre-ordering any edition will get you the nostalgia jukebox featuring music from Rick Schaefer, the guy responsible for the incredibly moody and incredibly good original Bloodlines score. So they're banking on nostalgia. Now, honestly, the nostalgia bait for the different editions, I genuinely don't have a problem with. I think that's a better idea, for sure. Nostalgia baiting people for the deluxe edition and the premium edition instead of, locking a playable race. This is no different than Ubisoft locking an entire story, an entire quest line for Star Wars Outlaws for Jabba's Palace behind a paywall, behind their super duper deluxe edition. It's ridiculous. Companies are getting away with this. Vote with your wallet. I say that, and I'm more than likely going to buy this damn game day one, but I will be streaming it. Let everybody know what my thoughts are. So I am hesitant, but yet I have a very good feeling. I think I'll be getting this, especially coming around Halloween. This might be a pretty good game to stream for Halloween. We shall see. No, we're not going to see anything. I'm going to buy this game. Probably dumping an extra $30 on it. Good Lord. And show everybody what it has to offer. So, hope to see you then. But let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things that YouTube is begging you to do. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.